How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Looks like we are on our path. It looks like the one we have ended up bonding with the most in the pre-game was Emi. So here we go. Not sure what I think about it. I think I'll like it though. Emi definitely seems like a good character. Like I said, the only hesitation I kind of have about it is I feel like the way the game was describing her, it was kind of pointing towards her anyway, so I feel like I might have been getting the kind of the vanilla experience, but that's probably okay. I will probably be playing some tandem games in the background. I did so a little bit, and I've already kind of seen how... I mean, if you knew the game really well already, you probably knew exactly what was going to happen before we even had the festival day. Because I've noticed by making a couple different choices, I had a vastly different experience leading up to the festival. So... I don't know. It's interesting because I definitely think I played some cards right, but it's like you pretty much have to get, like, it looked like it's about three kind of checkpointies. Checkpointies. It's three kind of points for each path or so. There might be more, but ultimately, yeah, you need to hit the right strokes to see the right folks. So I don't know who I was going to be closest up to runner-up wise, but that doesn't really matter because we're now going to play through that here. So last time we made a commitment to work with Emi to increase our health, and which is great because like at the same time this does reflect a lot of what I'm currently going through, specifically diet and exercise. Exercise is a bit tricky for me just because of some physical limitations I have, but he's got limitations too. So, you know what, if anything, and maybe this will continue to help inspire me to progress on the path towards health that I've been working on so far. But yeah, so I think there's not much else to say. Let's jump right into it and continue with the story. The hands on the clock finally set me free at the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat provides to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Yeah. Well, I know, brother. Maybe doing these with Emi isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's given me a heck of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some pre-packaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students heading for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emi and Rin aren't there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Emi among the bodies in the hallway heading for the cafeteria. I step out the door on the roof and take a deep breath. I got to spend the evening out. If we might hear casual explosions in the background because today's the 4th of July, you know, American holiday, celebrating independence. But yeah, we went and took the family, saw some fireworks, so it's actually really late compared to when I normally do this, but I don't care. I'm pretty awake right now anyway. I step out the door, take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Red's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Couldn't you just look at them right-sided up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? I mean, technically yes. Ahaha, caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Emi chooses that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off its hinges. Sorry, it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin, takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'll have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. Aww. If Rin's offended by Emi's comment, she doesn't show it. Emi sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a catfight. The 2 girls stare at each other for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey, Emi, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emi looks thoughtfully, apparently giving the question some thought. Looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. Not the best sentence structure there, but okay. I might have phrased it something like, Emmy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some bearing. Maybe that would be a good one. Or some consideration. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey, Hisao, you coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hisao, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the mornings, you won't even show up at my track meet. Wasn't she the one asking me to run with her? Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams as if I just agreed to her, give her $1 million. So you will come after all. That's great. Aw, she's adorable and manipulative. Holy crap. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes, Emmy. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like some outside force pushing me irrevocably towards my destiny. Huh. Game designers. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily. Otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose I've got to show up now. I don't think I could stand against them both being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note of it on my calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. Sure, yeah. You could do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do. Do we? Rin shrugs again. It seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. Rin's like a pool so deep that eventually you just end up flipping around and going up. Like if you try to dive down into it, you go so deep eventually you're swimming up as you get to the other side of the freaking planet. I think she's so deep she doesn't even know how deep she is. And again, like part of me is wondering, like, is she actually considering these things, like actually trying to formulate them, or does she just like talking in circles? Because a lot of her philosophy is fairly nonsensical and circular. Like the perspective thing, it's like being upside down, will that change my perspective? It's like, yeah, but also at the same time, no, because essentially you're still seeing the same thing because you're looking up at the sky. It doesn't matter what your orientation really is, except maybe you'd be looking down at the clouds, but like it's a change, but does it really change anything? Whatever. For Rin, that statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize that this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Emmy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response to the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Oh, that's alright then. Yeah, I'm sure I've heard that phrase somewhere before. Your unpredictability is predictable. I don't know, somewhere, something that's in my brain pan somewhere. Like, I'm thinking it's like a movie, but I have no clue what I'm talking about, so I doubt you do. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. Wait, was that all lunch? I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two is far too interesting. Emmy jumps up and looks of panic on her face. Oh no, I need to stop by the room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had the time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Emmy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Hisao, but I could make sure to get our garbage thrown away. I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with urgency. I was trying to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already almost seems preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. She probably used Emmy taking care of the cleanup, and for some reason I doubt Emmy's ever raised the issue with her. I mean, well, why? I think she's got a pretty good excuse. Maybe she could have a little bit, but I mean, I've got toes that are pretty dexterous. I can grab stuff with them pretty easily, and I've actually done things where I'll grab something and I'll like hobble along with it. But it's a terrible way to have to move, and if you're not wearing like open sandals, there's no way she can really grip anything. Cleaning up from lunch didn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss out her garbage and get to class. On second thought, I think it did mention somewhere that she has like slip-on shoes or something, or maybe she doesn't even wear shoes because she does eat her lunch, so she must be able to get out and in of. If she's wearing footwear, she must be able to get in and out of it pretty easily. Anyway, cleaning up for lunch didn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss out her garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Didn't see you in the cafeteria, He-chan. Yep, I decided it was too crowded there. Misha's grin gets even wider. Oh, really? Are you sure you weren't participating in illicit rendezvous? What? What are you talking about? You were on the roof, right? Where both you and Emmy know this. You Casanova, you. We just had lunch, that's all. Misha burst into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. You're so adorable when you blush like that, He-chan. She gives me a conspiratorial wink. Ow, my elbow. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. Even though she's like a foghorn. There's no secret. Oh? Misha seems disappointed, then brightens up again. Time will tell. I don't know what the heck she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in and the class starts. Oh, Misha. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. I'm pretty sure that counts as a miracle, or a response to your exercise. I'd like to see one willing to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway to make my way to my room, and that disturbing picture glares at us with bug eyes. I sit down and half-heartedly chip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture pecking at a particularly unsavory carcass. I know this is what it eats, but it's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now let's see. What was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working. I need a distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is usually out of his room at the moment. If I go to the student council room, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is, except for... Well, I suppose that's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Emmy's probably down there. Interesting. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten this late already? What are you doing here, Hisao? Come to spy on me, have you? I give a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figure that's about right. At the moment, Emmy's the only person I can think of who I could visit. So, I'm your last resort, am I? Nobody cool around, so let's go see Emmy. That's what you thought? She actually looks angry. Chance for some teasing of my own presented itself. Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emmy pouts, widening her eyes to give it a maximum amount of puppy dog resemblance. I'm kidding, I was kidding. So, you are down here to stalk me. Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Emmy laughs at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose, but you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know. I nod, conceding the point. Plus, I like hanging out with Rin sometimes too, so really it might take some effort to stalk. What do you two do together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes a superior air. That's what you think. I've got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know. Oh, really? Like what? Emmy puts her hands on one side as if she's trying to remember what it is she does in her free time. Well, Rin and I go shopping sometimes. Guess that makes sense. Emmy's a girl after all, but Rin comes with you. We usually swing by the art supply store. Plus, she likes the music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps her focus. That makes me a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Emi waves a finger at me. Now, why would I go reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another. Somehow, I think that's all Emi has that's all that Emi has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question's been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why I hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, isn't she? This comment causes Emi to laugh loudly. That's his understatement of the year. So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff, so I figured you'd hang out with a lot of people, but I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Emi seems unusually defensive. Hey, I hang out with plenty of people in the area that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your class. Okay, that still doesn't explain why you hang out with Rin. Not even sure why I want to know this. Guess it's because the lunch was so strange. Emi shrugs, looking for a moment, very Rin-ish. It's because we have similar outlooks. Well, really? If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like... Okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes. I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run. And that's why we're similar. Oh, because you're people of passion. You have a dedication to a craft and you want to master it. You lost me. Emi frowns as if trying to figure out her answer. Well, maybe that's that we don't do things for the same reasons. Huh? You know, we follow our passions. So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art. Is that it? Well, no. I think another part of it could be it's not just like a passion. It's also rising up to a challenge. Like, they're in positions. Emi with no legs, Rin with no arms. You think that two activities that would be so, like, they would be incompatible with would be running and painting. Yet they seem determined to not only participate, but to excel at those things. It takes them probably more effort than it would take others who aren't limited. And so possibly it's become a part of their identity, their rebellion, their way to kind of rise above their limitations and to prove that they aren't as limiting as people might assume. That's my guess. Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed. Not surprising. I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like, she's always trying to figure out new ways to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it. And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. What do you mean slowed down by anything? Really, Sao? Really? You can't think of any examples. And even beyond the normal, like the obvious ones that I was already pointing out, it's also just the fact that, you know, running is hard. Art is hard. Like, it's hard to be successful and excel at those two things, especially. Athletics and the arts and acting and Hollywood, these are the things that a lot of people want to do, but most people aren't talented enough to excel at least to be to the point where they can receive recognition. So yeah, there's a lot of things that slow you down, especially the doubts of others. I bet you that's something that they face on a common basis. Emi looks surprised and points to her legs. You know, because I'm a runner and Rin's a painter even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out. I think. Well, I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but from Emi's sheepish expression, she's not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think much about. We just get along, and that's all that really matters. I suppose she's got a point there. Another question strikes me, and since I've got nothing better to do, I ask it. So, what got you so into running anyway? Oh, I've been running since I was really little. My dad was a runner, and so as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know? Our own mutual hobby. Shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Yeah, I'm imagining there's a lot of baggage that's going to be involved with this one, for sure. Did something happen between them? Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I gotta get a few laps in before I go see the nurse. And off she races to the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems to me that she's got a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. It's much the same as it was this morning, but her eyes seem to have taken on a harder edge. I guess she's right. I don't really know much about her. I watch her run for a little while, then stand up to start heading back to my room. Hey! She spots me leaving and waves to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning. Got it? Got it. I head back to my room. Homework beckons. Lovely, lovely homework. All those delicious math equations. I can't sleep. My body's tired, but my mind is kept awake, staring at the ceiling in the hollow darkness of my room. He needs to put like posters up or something. I grasp desperately for a thread of thought, hoping that I can run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. This is not productive at all. I wonder if this is a side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. And again, maybe I'm just not as used to my new surroundings as I'd like to think. I don't know, but for some reason I'm awake and I shouldn't be. I hate that. It doesn't happen to me very often, but when it does, it drives me crazy. Ugh, this is ridiculous. Ignoring my body's stiffness, I got out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning. Last time I checked, it was only 1, so maybe I slept a little. I don't know. I throw on some clothes and head out of my room. A walk might do me some good. I'm surprised at how chill the air is compared to the relative warmth of the day. I can almost see my breath as I wander campus, waiting for the sun to come up or for me to fall asleep. At this point, either option works for me. I find myself at the track, where for the first time, Emmy's not out running. I suppose that makes sense. It's too early, even for her. The bleacher seats are cold, but at this point, I welcome the sensation. The sun is starting to show its face over the horizon. I know with awful certainty that I get no more sleep tonight. I like how the picture's actually lighting up. That's cool. The sun's steadily strengthening rays start to warm me up as I watch the dew on the ground begin to steam slightly. My mind calms down a little. Poke, poke, poke. Someone's shaking me. Hey, wake up! Huh? What? I guess I fell asleep after all. What are you doing out here? I thought you're gonna catch a cold or something. Well, I stumbled over that one. I rub my eyes. I'm confronted with Emmy, who bends over me with worried expression. I'm still a little groggy, so my French comes out in a mumble. I couldn't sleep. Watch the sun come up. Sounds like something Rin would say. I shrugged, feeling the stiffness that comes with sleeping on a bench for a few hours. Is it? I wouldn't know. Emmy grins a little at my somewhat cranky response. So, couldn't sleep, huh? Obviously, we need to run you harder today. Even though I only known her for about a week, this seems a very Emmy-ish response to the problem. Hey, my body's plenty exhausted after yesterday. My mind just was racing, that's all. I don't see the difference. If you're in hard enough, your brain will get tired too. I'm seriously questioning the wisdom of doing this first thing in the morning. I don't know if my grades will be able to handle me tiring my brain out like this. Emmy pulls me up from the bleachers with surprising strength for someone her size. Are you surprised? Is it really surprising? She obviously keeps her work. She's buff, man. Now, come on, Hisao. We've got work to do. I don't actually know if I'm up to this today, to be honest. I mean, I obviously didn't get much sleep, and what sleep I did got was on the bleachers. I don't know. Should I really be running? Emmy glares at me. Good heavens. What are you talking about? Of course you should be running. How else do you expect to work out the kinks? You've been sleeping on the bleachers, for heaven's sake. The best way to get that soreness out is to run around a little. Now stop hiding in the bleachers and get down here. She's not arguing with that. Pretty sure she'd kill me if I didn't do as she said. I get to my feet and hop down to the track. The sun is warming things up rather nicely, I think. Emmy and I begin to stretch out, and I find myself once again hard-pressed not to stare. Well, A, I don't blame you. B, I mean, that'll probably get better as you get closer. It's funny, because, like, one of my first crushes was actually someone who I considered my best friend. We were friends for years before we ended up dating. And while I always admired her beauty, at the same time, I got comfortable around her and she with me. And so, while he probably could always appreciate her for her looks, at the same time, there will be that awkwardness will start to vanish. It's just a natural progression of getting close to people. And it's interesting too, because alright, there's an interesting relationship. You've heard of the Uncanny Valley where where graphics for depicting people's faces. get better and better and better and better. Like it trains up on like getting better and better, and it gets to the point where it gets close enough to human where it starts getting really creepy. Where like we stop having a positive reaction and instead have like kind of an adverse reaction, because it's like it looks close enough that our brains recognize it as a face, but it looks too twisted to be real, or like to be normal, and so we have a fear response to it. I think that can happen with kind of. Let me explain this. What was I even going on the tangent for? I was talking about relationships with a friend and like the way you see each other. Okay, I think there's a similar reaction, in my opinion, to comfortableness and also just like being around people. Like, effectively, I'm probably gonna get this video flagged or something for saying this, but effectively, I'm talking about like nudity. It's really weird, but bear with me here. A lot of times when you're younger, especially when you have no experience with anything regarding intimacy of any kind, like the human body is kind of this wonderland of mystery, and so it can kind of be like scandalous, like, oh, you saw a little bit of a panty shot, it's like, oh no. And like even like getting a chance to glimpse somebody in their underwear or nothing seems like a treasure and something that's very like can be arousing. But like, I've learned through my experience that like as you gain experience, those things stop having that same impact. You know, and I think it just comes from the fact of understanding that's like we have these biological like connection to each other, but at the same time there's something just human about other people, regardless of what they wear or don't wear. And I don't know why I've gotten to this point. I don't know if other people can agree with me or not, but it's gotten to this point where like I don't get that feeling so much anymore, just because I had to glance and see somebody in a compromised position. You know, like whether it's something intentional or not. Like in anime, you always have the scene where like the guy like walks into the bathroom and the girl happens to be in the tub or in the shower getting changed, and there's like that and he darts away. It's like or she punches him or something. You know, that typical thing. Like it's an amusing scene, but like in reality, if I were in high school, I might have actually had a fairly similar response. But now, it's like if I did that, I'd be like, oh, my bad, and I'd just bow out, and it wouldn't even like be if it wouldn't faze me, because like I've said this before in other videos, and I want to strongly imply it too. It's like the unknown is what I think we find attractive at first. After we get over the initial like experience like barrier, I think most of us would come to the conclusion that like they're people, you know? Just because you get to see somebody in a position that would normally not be like okay, or something they would normally want to be, they'd be ashamed of, being in their underwear or whatnot. I don't know. They're still them. And for me, I might be unique in this regard, but for me, just seeing somebody in the buff doesn't do anything per se. I mean, I can have an appreciation for someone who's gorgeous, but when there's no connection there, when there's no emotional connection there, when there's no potential for an actual meaningful relationship, to me, would be the same as seeing somebody of my own gender. And that's the thing, is like, I know where I am on my spectrum, I know where I am in my feelings, and it's like, yet there's this point where it's like, if there's not a connection there, and if there was no desire there to begin with, I don't feel like there would be an overt reaction. And so, like, he's young, he's Sal, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't feel like I would, I don't know. It's like, it's weird, because like I could definitely feel like I would have the same reaction as he does, but at the same time, it's not as big a deal as it used to be. Can anyone else corroborate this? Like, I know I might sound like I'm crazy, but it's genuinely how I feel about this subject. It's like, the emotional connection is what makes those types of moments really, like, invigorating and enticing. If it's just a random stranger, I just don't seem to have that same connection. Like, I really don't feel like I do. I don't know. It's interesting. And unique. And I feel like it merits a conversation. But also, it might just be weird. So, here we go. We'll jump into it from now on. Let's talk about Hisao. This is how I wake up every day. I might be able to get used to this. Oh, you little ball of hormones. You know, Hisao, it's not polite to stare. Oh, fetch. I wasn't staring, I swear. Emi raises an eyebrow and considers me for a minute, as if evaluating my response. There's a brief moment where I'm afraid for my life. But then she smiles and laughs, shaking her head slowly. Honestly, you don't have to deny it so strenuously. In response, I clap my hands together and go for the change of subject. So, that's enough stretching, right? Emi gives a casual shrug. Do you feel stretched? That's really how you tell. Well, I do feel up to run, if that's what she means, like running away. Yep, I feel ready to go. Same as yesterday, okay? We'll just run for a mile at a steady pace. Don't worry about going really fast, just worry about keeping pace. Got it? You're the boss. There we go. Emi grins again and we take off around the track. And... I think I'm gonna die. We're not even done with the first lap and my legs are on fire. Yep, second day is always the worst. My breath is coming in ragged gasps. I can feel sweat pouring down my brow. We've only just rounded the second turn. Come on, Isao. You got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Somehow we're on the second lap. Emi's not even sweating. How can she do this so effortlessly? For some reason, I'm still moving. She's like a machine. Third lap. What happened to the second? Almost there, Isao. Liar, we've got another 2. Nothing to be done. I can't do this. Emi whirls around and begins running backward. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that. If you say that, you'll have already lost. Keep moving. You're alive. You can keep moving, dang it. Whoa, language. We're on the 4th lap now. She really seemed to want me to keep going. Legs move, move, move. I feel so sluggish. I'm in mud or molasses or tar. I can't go on. I'll go on. Final stretch. Hisao, give it all you've got. I pump my legs as fast as they'll go. Yeah, that last little sprint when your legs feel like molasses and jello at the same time. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. That's it, Hisao. I knew you had it in you. The anger Emi showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she just won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall to my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding far harder than it has in a long time. I don't think it's done this since... Oh no. Please slow down, heart. Just slow down, stop racing. I cough. For some reason I feel a grin crossing my face. So this is how I die, huh? Trying to stay healthy? Yeah, already. Already give up right there. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab under my arms and tug me upwards. Oh, I look up and see Emi standing over me with a mixture of delight and worry. On your feet! Come on, you'll never catch your breath that way. Somehow I manage to stand. I try to raise my arms above my head, but I feel like lead. I start to walk around the track while Emi keeps close to me, like she's afraid I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible and say so. Emi laughs. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't it worth it? I'm not sure. I don't really have the breath to say so. That small grin I felt on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow too. Ooh, look at that change of thought. That's very interesting. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly keel over, Emi takes off her sprints. I don't know how the heck she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's much better shape than me. Once again, I walk around the track. Can't help but watching Emi sprint. It's weird, but it's like she's a different person when she pushes herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's still smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost grim, like she's fighting a losing battle but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder than she did yesterday. Sweat has started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. What is she running to? Her mouth finally opens as she no longer can get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs pumping, arms swinging in time, and her hips slightly parted. She looks beautiful. Oh man, Hisao, you are really in, like, all head over heels for this one. After we've both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Emi changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone. Not bad today, Sal. There's almost an admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Emmy colors a little, seemingly embarrassed about her outburst. Sorry about that. I just can't stand to see people give up. Especially about something like this. Saying I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going the while you're saying it. That's what it's all about. What saying silly things? Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. Idiot. I mean showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? I didn't know it had to be so painful. Though it does feel pretty good despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest days. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and the third day is easier. You still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less. So this will eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. I don't know, man. I tried. It never did. But then you have to increase the difficulty, or you'll never get ahead. You just get complacent, and you lose your sense of accomplishment. So I have to run more than just 4 laps, huh? Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful, you know? A thought strikes at me, and her face lights up. Got it. Got what? You can come with me to the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. Sure. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness, you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I have no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Emmy and seems to completely ignore me. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run the hallways like that. I can hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this sort of routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. The nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly it seems he notices me. Ah, hello, Hisao. What brings you here? Oh, Hey, Sao. Hisao officially joined me in the morning runs. I tried to explain, but Emmy cuts me off. I thought he might need a visit for you so he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises an eyebrow in mock horror. Oh, fetch. Oh, that text history. The nurse raised an eyebrow in mock horror. I guess that's all it was. Okay. Oh, I went backwards. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well, now, Hisao, let's take a look at you. Lift up your shirt, would you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. This guy, I don't like you. A bit shy, are we? He makes an apologetic bow to Emmy. Sorry, Emmy. I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an a-hole. Emmy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside, okay, Hisao? I begin to stammer that it's not really a big deal. She doesn't have to leave, but she's already out the door and the nurse is laughing as he watches her go. Still got it! I don't follow. He laughs again like he said some kind of joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going on for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me. It seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounded a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't going to say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so you don't get the wrong idea. I was kind of starting to worry myself. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? See, I wondered about that. We had to amputate her legs right after a nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her and succeeded. He shut up abruptly. Aha! I blinked at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Yeah, see, I kind of initially was thinking, I was like, because she talked about how she used to run when she was a kid and ran with her dad. So, an accident that forced her to lose her legs and probably took the life of her father. That's what I think happened. So running would then become this like proof that she wasn't going to be held down, that she wasn't going to give up just because. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sounds rough. Maybe it also, though, like, at the same time, maybe it didn't kill him, but possibly, maybe it, like, paralyzed him, and, like, he became very bitter. And so Emmy runs to, like, prove to him that he doesn't have to be held back by his injury. That could explain it, too. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while. So, we have a slightly more familiar relationship than strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. I'll wave a hand to let him know it's no big deal. Don't worry, sir. I promise I'm going to be discreet. I'd been wondering what caused Emmy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that it could have happened, but actually hearing about the facts is still a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, Hisao. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable, you know? What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk. She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to a point where you can even start running again. Emmy did it all in about a year. He almost seemed proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Fetch, I'd be proud of her. I am proud of her. Heck, she probably done it faster if not for the fact that we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long, her legs would start bleeding where they met her prosthetics. It's a real concern. That's why she comes here every day after she runs. To say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs got cut up and her prosthetics are too dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you going anyway soon, Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking my heartbeat. The stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated it up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back, satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Hisao. Didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had trouble catching my breath, though. My heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I say this, but then he shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape, but if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much, and of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on, the nurse leans out the doorway to call to Emmy. What took so long? Now I'm gonna be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Hisao, that's all. What? Come on. What have I told you about seducing my friends? I'd expected Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he was a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I tried to not brush at the nurse's innuendo. Yeah, like, I can kind of see, but it's still kind of that inappropriate stage. It's like, are you actually flirting with other students? I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hisao may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. Hello? Didn't mean to say that out loud. Both the nurse and Emmy regarded me for a moment before bursting into laughter again. Told you it was funny, didn't I? Huh, guess Emmy does talk to the nurse a lot about stuff. Well, Hisao, you should probably get moving. You still have a shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point. Looks like I've got only half an hour. Thank you for your time. I'll see you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room and the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetic. As I head down the hallway, I could just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. I made it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours and class hasn't even started yet. This is going to be a really, really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. I think we're going to go a little longer just because this would be a bit of a short episode if I stopped here. Interesting. The morning sunlight streams through the windows, waking me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. So we must have skipped a few days. Amy has kindly denied to give me weekends off for my morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groaned in protest as I left myself out of bed. All this running is really taking it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I'd be worried if the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but this far I haven't minded them that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. That's true. I don't know which would be worse. She could do the puppy dog eyes that might kill you from sheer adorableness, or she might literally run you down and kill you. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes and I feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Track meet. Hey, you're coming to the track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Exactly. So don't forget, okay? Fetch, run! Crap, it means track meet. Better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. Good man. And so I soon found myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see their track team compete with another school like this one. I'll admit, it's almost comforting to know that we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can only be 2 schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing, but in this case, it sure as heck wasn't. That's part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Heck, learn that there are a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problems instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of these kids aren't here because they're missing a leg or have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. Man, that's depressing. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance being alive through college, but there it is. Wow, that got real morbid. I brought on my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Ridden near the entrance of the bleachers. You came. Of course, I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply you had to follow through, though. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs. Seemingly bored with our conversation, she turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. I owe Emmy money now. Why's that? I didn't think he'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug of my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers and Rin nods upwards. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way, and as soon as we settle down, it's almost on an almost empty bench. Whoa, there's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. Well, I'm guessing she's going to be someone kind of important because she has a sprite. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar seeming grin. Well, isn't this surprising? I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was down there. The woman laughs again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Miko Ibarazaki, Yumi's mother. Meiko Ibarazaki, Yumi's mother. There you go. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, better endowed Emmy. Hey! Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emiest, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Miss Ibarazaki. It's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emi's mother. I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume. Rin nods, seemingly pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see, it's really up to us to make introductions and the like. For lack of a better response, I nod. Miss Ibarazaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear, but just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emi's mother bursts into laughter again. You're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So, this must be the new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry. Forgive an old woman her amusements. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly, Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. It's starting. Ooh, look at this. See, I wanna show image. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, the art's so good. I direct my attention to the track where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. There they go. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters coverage the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least a half-second behind. Miss Iburazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounces off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. Yeah, man! She did fantastic. Of course, this is probably the first round, so she probably has like more tournaments in the future, but still, great start. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the result. Oh no. I think she's gotten faster since last time. That was incredible. Miss Iburazaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out on the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the look of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired. It's as if she hasn't run the previous event at all. Fetch, man. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. Fetch relay at the end of it all? Wow. I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to compete. Your foot? Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh, you seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I would absolutely be interested if I were supporting somebody, but at the same time, like, I would never go to one of these voluntarily most of the time. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. I get it. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emiest very often. But here, you can, see? She directs my attention toward the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. She's pretty cute, isn't she? Dang. As she gets onto the starter block, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Oh, she's like a predator. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin or it could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's unleashed from the cage. She was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's over in a few seconds, but those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crosses the finish line, the fierce look was replaced with her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She really is amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. As far as I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess comes from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Miss Iburazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude for me to ask after Emmy's father. I wouldn't, but I imagine you might hear it anyway. But after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time not wishing to appear rude. I'd be like, no, it's okay, it's okay. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. That's not surprising, considering. They were very close. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Mr. Burazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out the cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. Uh-oh. Is there another guy? Is she moving on with her life? And then Emmy might be having problems with that. I've got to meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her, that I'll call her later tonight? Of course. I'll admit that I zoned out for a while. I almost didn't notice the relay about to start, but when I look, I can't find Emmy. I thought Emmy would be running the relay. She runs Anchor. She won't be running it for a while yet. Ah. Did you see it? Huh? Emmy at her Emiest. Maybe. Maybe this time. The race begins, and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. She must be their best sprinter, which makes sense. She did all the sprinting, but she must be her best if she's the anchor. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It's really beautiful. The look of determination, the fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emiest, I suppose. Wow. But then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's a definite stumble. Rin inhales sharply and actually looks concerned for a second. Oh, Emmy. Did she hurt herself, do you think? You noticed it too. It must be bad. She frowns as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually that proves to be too tiresome and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel's branch. That's not gonna be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Well, we didn't really try all that hard. Or at all, but hey, whatever. Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, guess she can't really wave Emmy over. Then again, I'm not sure that Rin would do something like that even if she had arms. Doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself or emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me, or us. Hey, you showed up! Guess Rin owes me money, huh? We would have brought you a crowd of laurels, but he sadly didn't find one. Hey, neither do you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try and keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me. It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Sure. Good. So, how'd I look? I stop myself before blurting out beautiful or amazing and settle for substantially safer. Very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I didn't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figured she knew that already. Besides, it seemed like it would take away from her efforts somehow. Great to hear. I was worried I looked a little too slow in the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh? Actually, I know it kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence. What was that all about? He noticed it at the end. That's no good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later. There's a carelessness in her voice as if it isn't a big deal, but I suddenly noticed a slight twitch on her face. Like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then that I notice her breathing is a little shallow too. I guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern because she steps up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder. Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from all the running is all. And come on, a little pain isn't gonna stop me. Oh no? Amy grins, and for a moment she looks like she did during her sprint, fierce and unconquerable. Or to put it another way, really beautiful. Hasn't yet. Well then, guess I shouldn't worry, huh? Darn right! I'm Emi Ibarasaki, fastest thing with no legs, and don't stop for anything. Impressive. Emi giggles, and that seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Plus our morning run, of course. Right, of course. Oh, right. Your mother wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. It used to be my dad who showed up to the meets, but Mom's doing a pretty good job of taking over. She shivers slightly, and I realize that she's still all sweaty. A breeze has started to blow too. I'm not cold at all, and I've got my jacket with me, so without a word I throw it around her shoulders. Smooth, dude. Good eye. Amy jumps slightly, then grins at me. Hey, thanks. It's getting a little cold, I guess. Yeah, looks like it. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emi my jacket could be taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey, Emi, you're going to miss the medal ceremony. Oh, yeah, thanks. He turns to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be late, he Sal. Morning run tomorrow. Don't forget. How could I? Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me after all. She's this fantastic mix of like innocence, cleverness, and genuineness that's just so hard to like I don't know. She's crafty, but you have to love her for it. Normally people are manipulative and it's just like, shame on you, but with her it's like you're happy to be manipulated. With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to receive her medals, or whatever they pass off as medals these days. Rin and I head away from the track, Rin remaining deep in whatever thoughts she had for most of the walk back to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not going to get the coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emiest. With the odd statement, she turns and heads to the building. Wasn't really that odd. She's kind of calling you out, man. She saw how you looked at her. Honestly, was it that big of a deal? Emi was cold and, unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seemed like the obvious reaction. Though I guess there's a chance I could lose my jacket if Emi never remembers to return it. I guess Ren has a point. Still, can't bring myself to muster much worry about the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emi-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. I wouldn't say so. Aww. Yeah, you know what? I'm really starting to kind of get this feel of genuine chemistry between the two of them. I'm finding very appealing as a writer and a reader. It doesn't really feel forced. It feels like they are kind of magnetically coming closer to each other. Like, absolutely friends for sure. Perhaps more in the future, but we'll have to leave that mystery to the next episode. This has been the perfect episode, I think. This was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my comments and my big, really random rant in the middle. Like, I don't know. It's a subject that I find fairly interesting, personally, and that's kind of what you get when you come to my channel, but it's genuinely something I'm kind of curious about other people think about, because I feel like when it comes to boundaries and, like, invasiveness, I feel like people are kind of on the spectrum of it. It's really odd. And it might come because I was raised very in a very conservative, like traditional type of family. Very much about their propriety was a big part of our lives, and like I was always taught to be respectful and courteous and thoughtful of others. It made me a very empathetic person, thankfully. But it also made me a very, I don't want to say safe. I was unwilling to take risks when I was younger. I have some interesting adventures and friendships and things that happened during my youth, but frankly, my whole experience was very strange, I think, compared to most other people's. I was very, I don't know, I was never really in any danger. I kept myself out of a lot of like interesting scenarios because I was just so guarded. Like a good example of this, like to this day, I've never been offered any type of drugs whatsoever. People knew I just would say no. I was never going to try it. I never had interest in it. I was never offered a cigarette, though people weren't shy about smoking around me as long as they okayed it. And I was also never really offered like alcohol, but it was implied that I could have some if I wanted it. But I personally have chosen not to drink. I personally have chosen not to smoke or do drugs. I personally personally choose not to vape, even though it's safer than smoking. I still think it's bad. Personally, I just don't. I've always been avoiding these things for personal reasons, and I still choose to do that to this day. And that's never going to change because I like the way I've chosen to live my life, even if it's different. But it's just funny to me because like I always was prepared growing up that you're gonna have all these terrible influences, like people are gonna try and convince you to do things you shouldn't do, and you're gonna have to fight for it. And it's like I never even had to fight for it. Just people just respected my boundaries, and I respected theirs, and I respected the fact that they had the right to make choices even if I didn't choose to do it myself. And I don't know, I'm very lucky I had such an upbringing like that, but it's given me some really interesting perspectives on things that I find are a little more unique. So I'm sure that was a big bunch of it where it's like, why is he even talking about this? And what is he talking about? So whatever. I think it's fun and it's interesting because I get to share stuff I don't get to normally share in a casual conversation. So looking forward to your responses to that. Also looking forward to your responses to the track session and just the running in general. Really interesting and fun development so far. I'm looking forward to playing this again next week. And as always, it's a pleasure having you here. Remember, you guys are what make this channel so fantastically fun. I'm having a joy playing through these games, kind of thinking about them, reviewing and sharing my thoughts about them. But ultimately, getting the responses back from you is what really kind of capstones everything for me on this experience. And seeing you talking on Discord, whether I see it or it's in the protected zones that I can't see for spoilers, like it's really fun to hear from you guys. So thank you for being a part of this for me and just being here and sharing these adventures. I hope we get to continue to see you all around, and who knows, wherever we go with the future stories. Oh, by the way, Steam Summer Sale hit my wallet pretty good, but I'm buckled up and ready with several new series in the horizon, plus more on the way as new releases come forward. So keep your eyes out for these and many more things coming in the near future. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and I can't wait to hear more. And until the next video, watch the video. Have to see me next. I'll see you there.